Hi. Good morning. I'm walking to my car. Hi, Rena. Good morning. I'm trying to wake up still. Hello. Thanks for the hearts. I'm going to give everybody a second as I get back into my car. This is where I hide from the cold elements. Hi. Good morning. You're so sweet. Hi. Woo. How's your day? I'm going to be talking. Hi, Stacy. I'm going to be talking this morning about some clean food substitutions that you can make in your favorite recipes. The worst thing that you can have to feel like you're forced to do is give up your favorites. Your day has been dry, which is good. I assume you mean like weather-wise dry. Hi, Stephanie. And I don't want you to feel like to eat healthy, you can't have your favorite foods. You can, you just have to modify them. So one substitution that my kids are painfully adjusting to is not having pasta so much. Sorry, kids. Sorry, grown-ups. Pasta needs to become a very infrequent meal choice. So I'm Debbie, by the way. How rude of me not to introduce myself. I've only had 1.5 cups of coffee, so I'm a little bit behind. But I've been eating clean, not perfectly, but I've been eating clean for, I don't know, maybe like 5 years. Anyways, so I want to help you eat clean, to enjoy your food. I think food is meant to be enjoyed. So I wanted to give you some suggestions on how to do some simple swaps in your favorite recipes. And fear not, you don't have to get pen and paper in case you're trying to get ready for your day or you're driving down the road. I will upload this to YouTube later. Sorry, I'm like so scatterbrained because like the phone does so many things while I'm periscoping. But I'm so glad that you're here with me, and I just mentioned pasta. So instead of pasta, and I want you to interject any ideas that you've come across as far as clean food substitutions. And by clean, I don't mean you wash them. I just mean like really healthy, like designed for fat loss. So instead of pasta, you can use vegetables. And I like to buy bags of the pre-cut broccoli slaw, and I'll just saute a little bit, soften it up, and it becomes like noodles. So my kids can still have spaghetti and not feel deprived. Spaghetti, squash baked spaghetti. Absolutely. So if you can make zoodles, which you get the little fun like spiral thing, and you just ram a zucchini through there, and you can have zucchini noodles, squash noodles. Yes, zucchini is so good. It's so healthy. And you really don't feel like, you can always try the shirataki noodles. That's another option. Ciao, hello, happy Thursday. And another thing that kind of goes along with the same pasta family is wraps. People really feel like if they're having like that soft tortilla wrap that they are just rocking it out. And I'm going to have to disagree. I think that's too much sugar, too many carbs. So instead, why don't you just get big leaves of lettuce and let that be your wrap? So instead of the wraps, even every now and then maybe you can do the low carb, high protein wraps, but I would really recommend romaine lettuce, or if you can get that like big leafy lettuce, not like the smaller crinkly things, and you can make your favorite sandwich. So wraps are still kind of like sandwich bread in disguise. Another food substitution that you can make for those butter lovers out there, powdered peanut butter is okay depending on the brand. I'm pretty particular. A lot of times they take out some of the nutrients when they make those, or they add extra junk in. So it depends on the brand, but I do use it some. Grilled chicken, egg and cheese quesadilla. Whoops, that's okay. The egg part was good. You got the egg and the chicken part right. Everything else you'll do differently probably next time, right? We're all here learning. We're all here on a journey. Nobody's going to do it perfectly. Nobody has time for that. So instead of butter, I use 2 different things because I have to have things like fattening. I think really you need, for lettuce, variety. I think if anybody's in the camp of you can only have spinach or you can only have romaine, they're crazy. Let's just eat all forms of lettuce. BLTs, I love doing BLTs with lettuce wraps. That's such a good idea. Absolutely. And if you don't have a dairy intolerance, you can always use a Greek yogurt as a substitute for certain like sour creams, but I don't do that. I just go without, and I would rather add hummus instead for that moisture. But for my two butter substitutions, I use ghee, Ghee, which is still clarified butter, but it's not going to have that dairy aspect to it. Yeah, hummus is fabulous. I also use Earth Balance, which is not Smart Balance, Earth Balance, and it's the pink label because it's soy-free. So that's a good vegan option for you butter lovers. In that same camp of butter are oils, which there are so many oils out nowadays, which is really great. We want to avoid the vegetable oils and canola oils, these soy. Anytime you see soy, you kind of need to raise an eyebrow about that. Instead, my go-to is coconut oil, because it tastes good. It has so many health benefits and can handle those high temperatures. I do use extra virgin olive oil when I'm not cooking. So if I'm just using it as part of my salad dressing, but it can't quite handle the high temperatures. So I tend to go with coconut oil, and I get that unrefined. So it has that taste. When it's refined, they've kind of taken a little bit away from all the goodness that it can offer. We're typically, as Americans, I don't know about you internationals, but the sugar addiction is real. So let's talk about some options instead of sugar. This is tricky. I'm trying to go for fat loss here. So I'm not necessarily going with healthy for those of you who are like in the agave camp. Instead of trying to spike that sugar, some options are potentially a tiny bit of agave or a tiny bit of monk fruit. But another good healthy substitution is applesauce. It can add that sweetener in your recipes. And even some spices like vanilla or cinnamon or nutmeg can kind of trick your taste buds into thinking you're having something sweet. When you want regular sugar and you don't feel like putting applesauce into your coffee, I use Swerve sweetener, which you can get at Whole Foods or online, or you can always use stevia, as long as it's pure and organic. That's kind of the trick. Thank you for the hearts. Homemade applesauce is, a great idea and actually easy to do. I was talking with a friend yesterday. We talked about making our own homemade applesauce. It really is not hard at all. And I don't like to cook. So another important food substitution in your recipes, all things creamy, all things milky. So if you need a recipe calls for cream or you like to have milk a lot, instead I would get a non-dairy milk like coconut milk, cashew milk, almond milk. Those are all really good ones. Hemp milk. This is a great way to swap out and still feel like you're getting that creamy, a little bit fat, a little bit sweet flavoring without the inflammation and weight loss resistance. Remember, we're trying to clean up our recipes. This is a real easy switch. And for those that call for more a heavy cream, make sure you're getting the full fat. Usually coconut milk is going to be the easiest one, I think, to find with the full fat in it. So it's got that thicker feel to it. What else? I have a list. That's why I keep looking down. Instead of salt, I don't know if you're a salt addict. Maybe you're not. Maybe this is not a big deal. But if you're looking for ways to flavor your food, you can use just regular spices. And I love Mrs. Dash because they're all salt-free. And you can also try citrus, like try spritzing some lemon or lime. Yeah, cashew milk, some of the, that cancer-causing situation with a lot of the non-dairy milks, just make sure you're researching the brand. That you can find that easily on Google as far as which are the healthiest non-dairy milks. That's a good point because we're not trying to give ourselves cancer. That's ridiculous. And when you're craving something really starchy, Silk is good. Okay, that's good to know. I can't keep up. I think it's Blue Diamond that maybe isn't so good of a brand. I'm not sure. And hopefully they'll change that really soon. When you're craving those more starchy carbs are not the enemy. You don't have to hate them and kick them out of your life. A better substitution when you're thinking about white potatoes, white rice, couscous, instead you can have sweet potatoes. You can steam some cauliflower. You can have quinoa. And you can have brown rice and oatmeal if it's, I guess, morning time. I don't know many people that want oatmeal in the middle of the day. But those are some options of complex carbs that aren't going to give you that big insulin surge and just make your thighs explode. So you can still have carbs. Carbs are not off limits, and everybody is different, so you can handle different amounts. Cauliflower pizza crust sounds so fabulous to me, and I've heard only great things about it. Do you make that a lot and it's fabulous? Do you have a good recipe or a recipe link that we can all follow? Because I've never made it. I'm totally honest here. I'd love to hear that as a mother of boys. This is really important when you're making your recipes and it's likely a casserole. Instead of cream of fill in the blank, cauliflower mashed potatoes, absolutely good choice. Instead of that cream of chicken, cream of mushroom, cream of whatever, just go with the low sodium broth. And now they even have on the market no sodium broths. That's kind of my hang up with broth is the sugar. The salt is through the roof. So instead, get some broth and it still adds that good flavor without just sending your body into this bloated GI upset grossness. Flour is another common recipe ingredient that you're wondering, how can I still make this recipe? You can use almond flour as a substitution, or you can use coconut flour as a substitution. I will say, if you're new to these alternatives to flour, to the regular white flour, almond flour has a 1-to-1 ratio with white flour, but coconut flour does not. So if your recipe calls for a cup of white flour, do not use a cup of coconut flour. It will become a big dry brick. So you need much less coconut flour, and you're going to have to Google the ratios because I don't know that. I think that's all I had on my list. So I would love to hear your questions about food, maybe some ingredients that are in your recipes that I didn't mention, and you're thinking, I know it's not the healthiest choice. What can I have instead? And while I'm waiting for you to type that in, let me just say thank you for joining me. For those of you who are just getting here, my name is Debbie, and you can find me on all social media at Fit with Deb. That's YouTube and Pinterest. I just made a recipe board on Pinterest today at Fit with Deb. Facebook, Instagram, all that fun stuff. I have lots of stuff on YouTube that you will love that helps with your exercise and nutrition goals. And today we've talked about healthy nutrition swaps for your favorite recipes. You can still eat the things you love. You're just going to tweak and modify them so that you can send your body into fat burning mode. Do you have any questions or things that you've had success with? Because I've got my recipe ebook coming out, and so I have mastered the art of recipe substitutions. I would love to hear from you. I'm getting ready to jump off of this Periscope. Squash soup is the bomb. Really? That sounds good. And I think I have a recipe for maybe a squash soup coming. That's really exciting. Tyson, ready to go frozen chicken breasts. What's your take? That's pretty good. I do buy a lot of frozen chicken. I would try to get as hormone-free chicken as possible. Tyson, from what I understand, has a lot of, they say they're really fabulous. I'm not fully convinced that Tyson is as fabulous as they claim to be, but it's better than going through the drive-thru or getting fried chicken, right, from like Mrs. Winters or whatever. So pretty good. I try to buy things that don't have the hormones or the antibodies. I want happy chickens in my life, but I also realize that there are budgets to consider. Perdue is good. Trader Joe's frozen. I've never had Trader Joe's frozen chicken, so I imagine that's pretty good. Perdue, I would also try to make sure that we are all investigating their company. I think between Perdue and Tyson, maybe they could do a little bit better in their practices. Is that a politically correct way of saying it? These are really good ideas. I'm all about high protein and easy quickness. That's why my recipes are usually throwing meat on a grill and putting vegetables in the oven. Like, I am so simple. I think I'm going to jump off for now. Yeah, definitely send me that recipe. Post it on my Facebook page so all of us can go like it, find it, and copy it, and make it for dinner, and make it seem like we're chefs who have our act together. I'm so glad that you joined me. I'm going to head out. I hope you have a wonderful day, and I'll talk to you later. Have a great day. Bye, Mom.